All right. So what I was saying is very simple. For example, Abhishek, we were talking about this, and everyone who was trying and found it difficult. Let's say we have a 5-digit number. Okay, forget VBA, forget programming. If I ask you that I want to extract each and every digit in Excel, how would you do it?
Yeah, text column.
Text to column, how will you do it? There's no delimiter.
No, text to column won't work.
Left and right.
Left and right, problem with left is that it will first get
Count.
6, then it will get 67, then it will get 673 because it
Exactly.
has to take from left. So what else is a choice?
Concatenating.
Concatenation is
Concatenate
joining.
is joint.
Is joining.
Concatenate,
I don't want to
yes,
join, I want to segregate, in fact.
Yes,
So left join, and there is one more function, guys.
trim.
Len.
Mid.
Mid. Oh yes.
Yes.
There is a function called mid,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now, if I have to extract the first number, what will the formula? It will be A1. So if you, people who don't know mid, very quickly, it says what's a text, where to start from, and how many number of characters to extract, right? So our text is A1. Now, where do we want to start from in order to extract 6?
Left.
1, position. How many number of characters you are extracting?
One.
Okay. Now I will get 6 with this, right?
Mhm.
Now I want to get 7. So what should I write? Everything remaining the
2.
same. This
Two.
becomes 2.
2.
Now I want 3. What should I do?
3, 1.
So can't we do something looping type formula here?
Yep.
Exactly. But this thought has to come first, right? That this is how I can tackle it.
Okay.
Right.
That is what I'm trying to make you understand. If you jump on programming screens straight away, writing sub, and you sit next to your screen, you will never be able to crack codes. The best way is think through, okay, if I get programming, logically, manually, or using some functions, how would I do it?
So how to use loop in the formula?
So how will you use loop in the formula? If I have to do this program, I'll go back. Oh, I can't start with numbers. So for example, dim I as, I'll put as long, and I is equal to input box. Enter the number. Right? If you want to put a validation, if it's a 10-digit number or not.
Len function.
Can I use a long?
Len function.
Len
We can
function.
use len function for
Len
5
function is equal to 5.
Hold on. I told you over here. Did I tell you why you have to make it as string over here in this program?
No, you actually said that you would tell, but later we.
Okay. We didn't do it. Okay. So the reason I told you it has to be string over there is because unlike Excel, len really doesn't work the way it's supposed to be in VBA. If I put len I, just to show you, message box, len of I, and I run the code and I enter the number, let's say 3245. So it's supposed to be how many digits?
4.
4 digits.
4 digits.
Okay, so this is giving me 4. Let's run it once again. Let's write 23. So it's still giving me 4. Okay, so it doesn't really work. It works with a different concept in the backend using the bytes and all those things, but it doesn't really work based on the actual characters in it. So that's the reason I made it a string in that other program. But it may be sometimes that we may not be able to convert it into string all the time. Okay, so what we can do is we can do typecasting. Do you know what is typecasting?
No.
So typecasting means changing the data type for a one-time use. Okay, so I can convert a number into a text, and the function we use is CSTR, which is your convert to string. It is why I'm saying typecasting word, the word typecasting, why? Because I have declared it as a number. But for a particular use, I just want to convert it for that instance only. I'm converting it into a string. So that is called typecasting. When you're changing for a moment, you're not changing the entire data type, but for a purpose, you're changing the data type in that program. So we are using CSTR over here. So if I use CSTR, convert to a string and then find len, let's say 2034, now it will work.
So Ishani, for every data type, we have a different, if I want to
Convert
convert long,
casting
yeah.
types. Yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
All right. And so what we can do over
Ishani,
here-
why are we taking this as a string here? Can't we do it dim I as a string?
I as a string, you could have used as a string, but I thought it's a good
No, I'm
option.
just saying because here we are mentioning this variable as a long, as a numeric, and later on we are supposing it for one time as a string. So why can't we use it from the beginning as a string so that we don't need to change it at the later
No,
time?
you can, like I said, you can, but I thought it's a good opportunity to explain you about this function, because not all the time, just for the purpose of len, we will every time declare it as a string. Not possible.
Okay. got
Okay,
it.
I just found an opportunity to explain, so I thought let's
Because
use
in
it.
a whole
Ishani,
program,
one more.
we may have use long as a data type, and somewhere we use string as a data type. So in that case,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I'm going to make you work on a program where you will see that you can't declare it as a string just because you want to use a len function. You will have to use a typecasting over there. So I'll show you that instance. Okay, so just putting message box not valid. And else, what do we want to do over here?
Then
Sum of
valid
digits.
equal not okay, not equal. Right.
If it is valid, then what I want to run a loop from J1 to 5. Correct? And every time you're extracting, what do you want to do with the numbers? Like you have 6, 7, 3, 8, 6. Every time you're extracting, what do you want to do?
So we have not
You want
used
to add.
Display.
Right? Add.
Ishani,
First,
I want-
we're going to add. We don't need to display. What is the question? Question is, if you have a 5-digit number, you have to show the sum of it.
Oh,
So
okay.
you are extracting, but at the same time, you want to keep adding them,
Hmm.
right? So how will you do that?
So it will be I1 to 5, not J. For
Why? I have already used on the top. Not always for has to be I.
okay.
Right?
Ishani,
Hmm?
we have taken I as long. Instead of that, we can take I as integer also. Can we take that integer?
You can, but the only thing why I did not take it, because integer can only hold numbers from 32,000 plus minus. We are saying it's a 5-digit number. So anybody can put 7,000, 7,000, 70,000 something. So then integer will not be able to store it.
And in that case, the maximum category will be
32,000,
99,999.
32,000, 32,678 to be very precise.
Okay.
You can't go beyond that 5-digit number.
Okay, Ishani.
Okay. So for j is equal to 1 to 5, can we do something like this? Tell me if it makes sense.
So Ishani, why are we taking total? Can't we take J in that case? J is equal to.
Actually, I am also have a same question. Why did we take the J?
What are we taking j? Like what is the confusion?
No, why can't we take J instead of total? Because J is the value
But
we are getting.
j is a variable which is getting, the only purpose of j is to run from 1 to 5 so that I can change my position from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the purpose of j. Remember, all that is changing is everything remaining the same. Everything is remaining the same. What is changing is only this portion, right?
Right.
So how will I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? If I want to write it in one line, I have replaced it with the variable j
So you use J just for the looping.
for the looping.
If there was
Right.
no concern of looping, there was no required of j as integer.
Yeah, if there was no looping, no j would have been there. And what I'm doing over here, if you remember, we said we can have variables in two places, on the left hand side and the right hand side. When you put it on the right hand side, what it does, it extracts. And when we put it on the left hand side, it assigns. So I still have to declare total over here. So once I declare total, initial value of total is 0.
Right.
Right? When you go for this loop, when j is equal to 1, what will be the mid value? It will get you the first number. Right? Let's say the number is 61025. So what will I get when j is equal to 1? I'll get 6. So what will be the value of total? It will be 0 plus 6. So it becomes 6. Agree?
Ishani, could you repeat it once again?
Yes. Let me clean up my mess a little bit. Okay. So think about it. What is happening? If just let's concentrate on this. Let's just concentrate on this loop right now. Okay. So there are two things happening. There is j, there is mid, and there is total. Correct? So when j is equal to 1, what is happening over here? What will mid give you? If the number is 62013, it'll give me 6.
6.
Right? Now total value is what? It's 0. And it's saying 0 plus 6. So this becomes
6.
6. Then j becomes 2. What will mid give you?
2.
2.
2. What is the value of total now? 6.
6 plus 2. 6 plus 2.
Plus 2. This will give you 8. So what are we doing using this equation? We are continuously adding on the numbers which are getting extracted through mid. So at the end, when j is equal to 5 and mid gives you the answer 3, it will already been done 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3 now it will add. So this gives me the total.
Okay.
Okay.
How
Ishani,
can we get this
only
into our
question,
mind?
only question that I
Arshad,
have is,
one
yeah.
second, Arshad, what did you say?
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Ashish, go ahead.
I'm not asking someone.
Yeah, sorry, Faisal this side.
Yeah,
So,
Faisal.
so Ishani, the only question that I have is, or rather confusion that I have is with the total thing. What is this total? Is this inbuilt thing or?
It's not inbuilt. We are using, so if you remember again, going back to very initial, when I started telling you about variables, I specifically told you this way of writing, and I told you this only happens in programming. So let me go back.
So, Ishani, we have a write total as integer or string.
Yeah, I have to. So Faisal, remember we spoke about this x is equal to x plus 10.
Yes.
So if I want a variable which is where I'm continuously adding something, right? So how will you write it? This is the only way to write it. There is one, think about it, that there is a variable and it's got a space where it's storing, right?
Yes.
So now when you're constantly adding something and storing it back, so it is going to happen in this variable itself. Right? So how will you do it? You will pull the old value, you will do the operation, and then you will put the value back.
Yes, but in this case, we have declared x as an integer, right?
So that I told you now, I haven't declared total, but I will declare it. Total I have declared, I have to declare. It's just I started in between explaining, that's why I did not, but you have to declare it.
Okay, got it. That's where I was confused.
And then we can put a message box of what is it, total over here. That's it.
Total.
That's it. Right, ampersand we'll put, and if we run it, so if I put the number let's say 56123, Dheeraj, can you mute please? I think yeah. So 56123, so what is the total? 11, 12, 14,
16.
17. Huh?
17. 17.
17, right? I was like, my maths have gone bad now. 17. So answer is coming now.
And we are little bit confused. What formula should we use? Like this, you done it quickly, but we are only.
How can it came into our mind? That's the
Right.
question.
Trust me, if you don't do this step, it'll never come into anybody's mind. Never. The first and foremost thing, when you get a formal education in coding, 1 year, one complete year, we spend on only writing algorithm and flowcharts. One complete year is spent on that. And it's super frustrating to write things in English when you know coding very well, right? But that is what helped us to become a good coder at this point also. So think that 1 year torture of algorithms is what creates a good coder. So my only request is, before you jump on any program, you have to make it a compulsory step for yourself that let me first break it down into simple English. What are the steps? And then for the steps, let's write what are the things that we know in VBA, how we are going to implement it, and then only start coding.
Ishani, as you told, that some of the Excel functions work in VBA.
Yes.
So how can we find out or differentiate those functions that yes, this function, if we are making algorithm in Excel, where all the Excel functions are working, but how can we find out that this function which is working in Excel, that will also work in VBA as well?
So very simple way. Whenever you want to try if a function is working or not, just simply write VLOOKUP, for example, put a bracket. If the syntax shows up, it means it's a function of VBA also. But if the syntax does not show up, means it's not a function of VBA.
All right. So
Okay.
if some function we used in Excel and that where we are making algorithm and we found that by this function we can do this, but that function is not available in VBA.
So how do we get that?
How do we get replacement for that?
No, we don't want replacement. There is a way of calling the functions of Excel into VBA. So I'll teach you that part. So for example, sum is not a function in VBA. VLOOKUP, match. Some of the very important functions we use, COUNTIF, these are not a part of VBA. So how do we use these? We have to use this keyword called worksheet function. When you put a dot, you will see a lot of functions come up over here. So if I have, let's say, SUM, sum is there, sum ifs, all these things are there. If I want to check if VLOOKUP is there, VLOOKUP is also there. Match function is also there. So most of the functions, I'm not saying it is 100% transfer to VBA, but most of the functions that we commonly use can be used using this word called worksheet function dot match. Well, a worksheet function dot the name of the Excel.
All right. Got it.
Ishani, another question from me. As far as I know, this is absurd, but as far as I know, the basic coding, the basic language for VBA Excel macro is object dot method.
Yes, absolutely correct.
So when you say that worksheet function dot sum, how is it this worksheet?
This is not a worksheet. This has got nothing to object dot method or object dot property. There is no object involved over here. What you're doing over here is you're doing a calculation. So it's kind of using a sub function. That's it.
Okay.
Over here, there's no object.
Okay.
Because sum is also not a property, neither it is a method.
Yes.
Okay. So we will reach object oriented little later. I think I'll need 3 more days till we can touch the objects. Okay. Next year we'll do it. Okay, for now we can't do it.
Just a small question. As you told about this that dot sum function, and when we start our coding, you teach us to make a code of expense of November, December, and January. Where in the message box we use January plus December plus February. So can we use this dot sum function over there or not?
I don't think so. Hold on, let's just experiment a little bit. Because, I have always used this for objects. Like when I work in Excel, then I need them. But otherwise, typically, I don't need these.
But
But
if
I'll
this
just
function
check.
is not working over, then I don't think that this is any kind of useful for us.
It is. You have not yet touched the objects of Excel.
Okay.
Okay, that's why. But otherwise, this is the only way you will be working. You will use worksheet function day in and day out. So if I press F5, 30, it's working. But the variable is also working. Like I said, this is typically, I don't use it for this work,
Mhm.
but it is working perfectly fine. So
Okay.
I've taken two variables, num1, num2, assigned some value, used worksheet function sum on it, it worked.
Good.
So we can use this formula also for the question we were discussing.
To do a sum,
The
don't you think a plus sign is much more convenient, right? Than rather than writing worksheet function dot sum and then writing a mid in
Exactly.
it and the other variable.
Plus is more
Plus is
convenient.
more convenient over here.
Yes.
Yeah. So regarding the VBA functions and a description, I'll tell you a website. I have put it in the notes that I've sent you, but I'll just quickly tell you. It's called tech .net. Even I forget sometimes. Tech on net. Hold on. Tech on the net. I think, yeah, it is this one only. So over here, you can access SQL and all that you're doing. That is also there. Where is Excel? In Excel, it should further.
Macro VBA.
Macro VBA, right? And in this, it's got a lot of things inside it, and functions are also there. Hold on. Excel VBA function list. Yeah, there you go. The entire function list is there. Categorized properly, like let's say for string and text functions, what to use, for date and time, what are the functions. But in my opinion, to be honest, if you try to have this list, honestly, it's of no use. That's what is my thing, because I can't remember all the functions. It's impossible. So as and when I need something, I Google for it and I find it out and I use it. Okay. Other than that, my basic fundamental is the same that I'm trying to teach you. I try to write that function. If I see syntax is there, I use it. If it's not there, I use worksheet function. That's about it. Having a list is nice, but the thing is, how many times would you even go and look at the entire list? But this website is a good reference for or any kind of, for SQL, for Excel, for VBA. This is a good website, Tech on the Net. Okay, let's start. Very similar to what you have done over here, just to reinforce this idea of for next, let's write another program. And I would again want you guys only to write it. So write a program to get expense of 5 months of project A and show the average. Let's do this. Write a program to get expense of 5 months of a project A and show the average.
So Ishani, I have one question regarding this.
Yes,
We have to
Tarun.
take a 5-month expense as a input box.
Yes, but it is 5 different months. So 5 times input has to be taken.
Fine.
But to find an average, what do you guys have to do first?
Use the average formula.
No, okay, you can use the average formula.
or sum of all those expenses divided by the number of months.
Correct. But when you are trying to use an average formula, you will have to declare 5 individual variables. Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yes.
Yes. So think about if there were 20 months or 12 months, then you will have to declare 12 times. So do you think it's a very good idea?
So we can use count formula to count the variable and then divide it by the same.
But you will have to declare the variables, right? So why do you even want to go in so much declaration?
First, so first we can add all the months expense and divide it by 5 only.
My question is, think about it in this way. I have told you 5 months. So if you go with the thought process, I'll declare 5 variables, I'll put 5 times input box, and then I'll add, and then I'll do an average. That's a very long process. Can I reduce this 5 input box into a 1 input box?
Then you want the similar way that we have used J as an integer.
Correct. I want 1 input box, not 5 input box.
So
Then
you are
how
asking to
would the
use
function will
looping.
work?
Yes, I'm asking you to use loops. Because then your program that you're writing is more flexible, right? If I have 12 months tomorrow, I can still make it for 12. In fact, I can say, okay, how many months do you have? And based on that, it'll take input. It's more flexible.
So how to do it?
How to do it?
So
This is an easy one. I've done that. Second line you write.
average expense.
What should be the second line?
Dim I equals
Dim
long.
I as long.
MI as long as
Then let's
integer.
write expense as long.
Long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proper name, let's give. What else? I as integer, because I told you I
Integer.
want to put a loop. Okay. Next. How many times you
should
want the
take
loop to
total
run?
also, no?
How many times? Please mute.
5 times.
5 times.
5
You
times.
want 5 times. So it should be for I is equal to 1 to 5. What do you want to do 5 times?
Message box.
No. Input box. You want an input 5 times. So if I put an input box over here and say enter the expense, right? And next time. Now, what will happen? What will be the value stored in this variable called exp?
Will be input one expense, first expense value.
When I is equal to 1. When I is
First
equal to
one.
2.
Then it will sum of these two. No.
Is it doing a sum anywhere?
No.
No, no.
I plus 1, can we do that?
I plus 1. Why I plus 1?
Till for the
If the
loop which is
expense of
running
the
till 1
different
to
month
5.
will
So-
be different, no?
Shaljin, the I is already incremented by 1 at next I. Remember, that's what we spoke last time, that next I does what? It increments I by 1. So we don't have to do anything separate from that.
Expense equals expense plus 1. I plus I.
Why I? You want to add 1 to 5 to it?
No, understood.
maybe-
We
Then
we
talked about
total-
this next
total-
time. Yes, in our last
Total?
class.
Total, yep.
Equal to
Total equal to total
total
plus
expense
Plus expense.
plus expense.
That's it.
Okay.
Right? Again, what you're doing is you're saying I'm going to create, let's keep it as long also. You're saying is that we are trying to create a variable, and in this variable, as in when I'm getting the expense, I'm going to keep on adding it. And at the end, when the loop is done, what will be the value in this total?
The total of all the expenses.
Exactly, sum of all the expenses. Now, if I want to find an average, what should I do?
divided.
Divide.
Divide.
Divide total.
Exactly. So average expense for project A, project is ampersand your total divided by 5. Let me know if this is clear. So if I give some numbers, let me give smaller numbers to understand if it works or not. 30, 40, 50. So expense average is 30. So it's working fine. Any questions on this?
So how do we remember
Can-
that we are entering how many entries?
Yes, first month,
How do
second month.
we remember?
Is
So
it
if you
for
want
month
to,
1, month 2?
So if you want, you can say enter expense for month, and then you put an ampersand,
I.
and then you put an I. So now when you run, it says expense 1, expense month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5.
Ishani, my question here is that can we make this whole program more flexible, or maybe, if suppose I say that, if a user ends only enters only 3 values, and the program can give average of those 3, and next time it adds like maybe 2, and then it gives a average of 2, right? So can it be like that, or X number of times a user can enter their value, and then X number of times it can give. It could be
Exactly.
flexible. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying, that you have to make something which is more flexible. So if I just declare a variable X and say input box, how many months expense do you have? Right?
Yes.
Now, let's say the person gives me 3, or the person may give me 20. That's fine. What modification would you do in this line?
1 to X.
1 to X.
You'll say 1 to X. What modification you will do over here?
Total
Total
divide by X.
That's it. Now it's more flexible.
Okay.
Now, if I run it, how many expenses I have? I have only 1. So it'll say expense 1. This is my average.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was saying, that every time when you write a code, you have to write it in such a way that it's more flexible. Like if you take 5 variables and 5 different input boxes, there's no flexibility in your program.
True.
Okay. So tell me if there's any question on this one.
No.
No.
I'm just thinking, how can we think this?
Abhishek, I'm not going to lie to you that, it is easy. It's not easy. Okay. Coding is never easy. But it's, trust me, right now you're having a difficulty in doing it because these are not natural things to you. Because if I tell you some problem in Excel, you'll find it more natural than these kind of things. Okay. But once you get a hang of it, okay, so hang on in there for next 3-4 classes till we start playing around with the worksheets and the ranges and the Excel cell. Then you will all be able to tie it together. And then you guys will enjoy the kind of group you are. You will definitely enjoy getting your hands dirty and doing automation in Excel. So till that time, hold
Looking
on.
forward. Yeah.
I'm sure the
Yeah.
kind of group you are, I can sense it. You guys will enjoy, and I will have good time teaching you all those things. But unfortunately, I have to do all these smaller codes just to teach you the basic structures of programming, because there is no other way of doing it. If I mix objects and programming concepts together, then it becomes even more tougher thing to grasp.
It's
Okay, so just
important.
matter
Yeah.
of 2-3
How many
three
Yeah,
classes. That's it.
do you have?
Yeah.
We
That's
can imagine.
important. Yeah.
Just one question. For example,
Yeah.
like if we write dim expense as string, will
Mhm.
this be incorrect? Just because that's something which came to my mind. I was trying to do it with string instead of long. So,
But then there's a data type mismatch, right? Right now,
Equal to
if you
1.
enter, let's say 1, 2, 3 ABC, I'll get a type mismatch error, which makes sense because I'm asking for expense. It has to be a number. But
okay,
if you
yeah,
make it
okay.
as a string,
Hmm,
then there's no error,
right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
right? So validation point of view, it is important.
And Ishani, I expenses as integer. It would be right or wrong in that case, data validation.
Integer is fine. It's a number, but how much the range that you can store is gets limited to 32,000 plus
Expense
minus.
for month.
That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's fine. Integer is also good.
Okay, Shani.
All right. Now tell me.
Sorry, Ishani,
Right.
it was the first class you showed where to check those numbers. Means you told not to keep that in mind as well.
एक minute.
1 second, I'm not able to hear you, Saket. Can you repeat it, please?
So I was saying, like, you once showed
Total
like
is equal
the
to?
data range. There was one site you referred to or in Google, like the number of characters to check, like this plus minus 32,000 thing.
Oh, yeah.
Can you share it once more, please?
I didn't put the site name over here. Hold on 1 second. Let me quickly
It's a
check.
data type, some like that.
But normally I leave the website in the notes, which I do not. I'll put it in the notes also. I'll put once. So basically, you have to write Excel, VBA, model data, object model map. So this one that comes up.
Okay.
No, this is for objects. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm taking you ahead in the class. You guys are talking so much about objects. This is what is going on in my head only. VBA data types. So if you go to the Microsoft, this should help. Yeah. All right. So I'm putting it over here in the variable, the code of variable. All right. Okay. How to initiate multiple variables in one line? You can't. You can't initialize multiple variables in one line. You will have to do it line by line. Next line, it has to be done in that fashion only. I don't think so there is any programming language where you can initialize together. At least the ones I learned, you could not. Gunjan, can you?
We can, like dim I, comma J.
No. He's talking about initializing. In C++, you could.
Yes, in Java we can also. In Python as well.
You can in Python also. I've forgotten C++ then. Because over here, I don't think so that you can. I don't know. To be honest, and I will say I don't know. I've never done it. I'll have to check. Okay, tell me one thing. This entire thing that I've done is for project A. Okay. So if I have to do this thing for project A, I've already done for B, C, and D also, then how would I do it? Let's say this is for one project you didn't, but there were 3 more projects that were involved. So how will you take care of it?
As Shani, you have added that line X equals input, we can add one more that, any P equals name the project.
Name is one thing, but if I want all of them, like in one program only, all the expenses should be entered for the 4 projects and averages per project should be shown to me.
Okay, you want that parallelly these loops can work. Nested loops, like
nested loops. Excellent, Sanjeev. So why I gave you this problem, I said, okay, for one project, I've done this process. Now this concept is the same. I have to repeat a process. What is this process? Process is this much, correct? This is the process. Now, if I have to repeat a process again, then what do you put? You put loops.
Loops.
Right? Now, inside the process, there is already a for loop. So when you put multiple loops, it's called nested for loop.
Nested loop.
Or nested loop rather, right? Nested loop means loop inside another loop.
We use if, else, if.
So that is not loop. That is multiple condition checking.
Okay.
Right? Looping means that there is a repetition and then again there's a repetition of the same process. So think about it. For example, let's say we are in Excel and you are undergoing, you went under Excel, VBA, then you will undergo a Power BI and Tableau, right? Now we are doing evaluation. So let's say, just sorry, for the easiness, I'm just putting ABCD as the name of the participant. And I've got some marks, rows, 4 columns. I've got marks for all of you. All right. Now, whatever process I am doing for checking Excel marks for candidate A, that will be the same process that I have to follow for all the modules or all the tools. Yes?
Yes.
So how to do it? I'll use a loop. because whatever process I'm doing here, I'll apply here, I'll apply here, I'll apply here. So it's a loop I'm going to do. Now, whatever we did, whatever actions we took for the participant A, same thing we have to repeat for other participants as well.
Yes.
Yes.
So this becomes another loop, right? So this is going to be my outer loop, and this is my inner loop. So mostly when you're working in Excel data and if there's a table present, and it is such that you have to work on each row and each column, and the same thing you have to repeat over and over again, that is the time mostly you will be using your nested for loops. Okay. Now, how will I modify this program? Can you all try? Oh, before you try, let me just show you the structure. So it's like for I is equal to 1 to 5. How does it work? Let me first explain you that. Lines to repeat. And then we have another for loop. So for example, J is equal to 1, 2, 3. And then lines to repeat. And then next will come first for which one?
Inner one.
Inner one.
J.
Right? Inner functions, inner structures, they need to finish first. So it will be next J, and then you can have a next I. So how does this work? So if I start off from this particular line, there is variable I, there is a variable J. So over here, the value of I is 1.
Can you, why we have taken I is 1 to 3? Why not 1 to 4?
Just like that, any number, doesn't matter. Oh, I'm not doing any replica over here. Oh, you're matching it with this. So I'll take 4. I didn't think about that. I was just writing something. Hold on, I'll make it 4 only. Then it's not going to be, it's going to be 4 here and 5 inside. Okay, my intention was not that, but it's okay if you're doing it this fashion. So it will come to lines to repeat, then it goes to 4. So now what is the value of J? It is 1. After it comes over here, where will it go? Lines to repeat, goes to next J. After next J, where it goes?
Next I.
Ani, I'm not able to understand. Can you show me?
Yeah, even I couldn't. Why we are using lines to repeat here?
This is the syntax. Remember, I always show you a basic syntax. That how a
It's for
code will
inner
be.
or outer loop.
Yes, we are doing nesting, right? There is a for loop outside. Inside that for loop, there is another for loop.
Yeah, that I could make out.
Right. So I 1 to 4 and 1 to 5 was because Tarun was, I think, referring to this table that I created, in which there are 5 tools and 4 participants. So remember, we said we are going to repeat it for 5 times, and we are repeating for 4 people. So outer loop is 4, 1 to 4, and 5 tools, so 1 to 5.
Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So when I is equal to 1 and it comes to next J, after next J, where does it go?
Next I. Next year,
No,
it will go
it is
again
not
to
go
a
to
J.
next J. It will not go to next J.
for
It has to go back over here, right?
Go
That's
back
how
to
the
over
loops
here.
work.
Till 5. Till 5.
Now, yeah. So now when I is still 1, J will take the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct?
Go to the next.
And then when it exit this part, then it goes to next I. And at next I, then it goes to I is equal to 1 to 4 and increments I. So in the next go, I becomes 2. This will again reinitialize when it comes back to lines to repeat and for J is equal to 1 to 5. Since it's an inner loop, once it has completed its complete loop, it will reinitialize once again and start from 1 to 5. So this becomes 2, this becomes 2, and it will keep on going on till I is 2 and J becomes 5.
So I think it will count till 20.
20 times it will run. It will run 20 times because for each I, it runs 5 times inside.
5 times and
so
4
for
outer
4
loop.
values of I, it is going to run 4 into 5, 20 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So basic concept which I'm trying to make you understand that a loop can exist inside another loop.
So Ishani,
Right.
how how would VBA determine whether the first one is a loop and other one is a nested loop? Only
whichever is inside. First for loop is a outermost loop.
Uh-huh.
And when you write a for statement inside again, that's the next loop. That's inner loop.
Okay, and this tab thing for the second loop is does that has any significance? I see that for
No.
written over here.
I do tabbing. If you look at any of my programs, I do tabbing and spacing just for the neatness of the program.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
if
so-
I sit and write programs for companies, they are not 5-line programs, they're 200, 300-line program. And then
Okay, got
it
it.
becomes impossible to read it. Okay, now help me out. If I have to convert this into the program that I asked you that I want to find for 4 projects, then how will you do it? Can you do it quickly? How will you convert into more than one project? Can I send you this code and can you try? Would you be able to copy it? No.
No.
No, right.
No.
No point
Can we
sending
write
it.
it on our Excel and then do it?
You can. Can you write this entire code and just modify the code so that it works for 4 different projects, not just one project?
Hello, Ishani.
Yeah.
Yes, Vivek.
We can use the everyone can use the Google option, just like we can click the photo and copy all text.
Or for sending the codes?
Yes, I think
Code I can copy paste and send it to you, but you can't copy from chats. Like if you send something on chat, I can't copy it.
And can you scroll up 1 minute?
Okay.
Oh, why? We can tell you here verbally.
You can tell me here verbally.
Ishani, one small doubt.
Yes, Neil.
Here in for loop, when we are using I is equal to 1, 2, maybe that is a 1 to 2, 5 or 1 to 2, 7 or whatever the number we are taking. So, but so how the I number is increasing? It's by default it is increasing. Maybe I lost.
Yeah, it increases at this statement of next I.
Okay, so basis on the next I automatically it will increase.
Yes, it
But
increments by 1.
Previously we in the syntax for I is equal to 1 to 5, step 1 or 2 or whatever the increment we require, right? So that is the reason I am asking.
So by default, at next I, it increments by a value of 1. Now, if you want to change the default increment, that's the time we used to write step in front of 4.
Okay, got it. And one more thing, Ishani, here the total we used, right? So total is equal to total plus expense. But here we are not initialized any value for the total. So
you don't have to initialize any value in VBA. It self initializes to 0 for number data types and it's blank for the string data types.
Oh, okay, got it.
Ishani,
Yes.
I send it this code over the chat section, WhatsApp chat section.
WhatsApp chat, I'm not there. But then it's good. If people have it, it's okay. But tell me, help me out over here only. So this is the process. We said this is a process we want to repeat. So where should the next for loop come? Inside it or outside it?
Outside.
Is outside.
Outside it?
Outside.
Before giving the
because
value,
it's inside
so we need
loop.
to open the
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. If I'm saying I want to repeat this, this becomes what? This becomes a lines to repeat that I keep writing.
Yeah.
Right? And outside that I have to put a loop. So let's declare, let's say J as an integer. And I can put for J is equal to 1 to what? 4 projects. So 4
projects.
Okay. This entire thing that I have, this is a part of one project. So I'll put a next J over here. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now J is equal to 1. Will this work?
No.
No. Why?
Because we need to total the
So we have to write
projects, 4 projects, right?
4 projects.
Expense of the project.
Type of input project 1 or input project 2, we have to.
It is the average of
Project
4-month project for project 1, and we need the add sum of 4 projects.
No. Individual average of individual projects would be there. Why all together?
Yeah, that would work.
Then it can work.
Individual.
But if in case we have to add the expense of all the 4 projects, then the program will change, right?
This program will still run.
It will add.
Yeah, it is in fact a loophole over here. So let me run this. So I'm going to put the expense, 3-month expense. Let's say it's 10, 20, and 30. So the expense is 20. Average is 20 for the first project. Correct?
Correct.
So can't we write a project 1 input for first for
That you can do. You can make it as fancy as possible with the 1%. But focus on one thing that I'm trying to make you understand. This is for one project. Now this is coming for the second project. How many months do you want? Let's say I want 3 again. I'm putting the same numbers 10, 20, and 30. Is it correct now?
Yes.
10 plus 20 plus 30
No.
60.
No.
It's coming 40. Okay, now I'll do for the next one. I'm saying again 3, same numbers. It's coming 60. How is it increasing so many times?
It is storing.
Adding.
It is adding, not dividing.
It
So
is
next-
dividing, but how the average coming wrong all the time?
It is storing.
It is store in a total every time.
Yeah,
No,
every time.
So here in next I you have to put outside the message box.
Vivek, what did you say?
It's stored every time in total.
It stores every time in total. So should it be like that?
Total have to be divided by 4, I believe.
Not divided by 4.
No, actually, it's every time saving in a same variable.
Correct.
So
Absolutely
we have to
So,
change.
for example, I am asking for 3 months expense. Where is the total of the 3 months coming stored in total? Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Now the project changed. But what is the value of total? Total still have the total of the previous project, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
So that
So
is why the average is increasing so much. So what should I do to make my program work?
And if
so
Need to
we
initialize
can
from 0 to total.
Very good, Neil. We can initialize total as 0. And where should we do it? Whenever the project changes, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
So put total equal to 0.
yes.
So okay, every time J changes means my project is changing. I should always reinitialize total to 0. Okay.
Okay, now you can show.
Now if you run it, F5, let's say we are saying 3, again 10, 20, 30. So it's coming 20.
Yeah.
How many expense plans? 3 again, 10, 20, 30. So it's again 20. So it's working fine now. I'm just giving
So, Shani,
two.
do we
How
have to
many?
enter a message box after the next J?
Do we need a message box after next year? Is it as in,
Because-
oh, you just want to say next project, something like that?
Yeah.
Project, yeah, all that fanciness we can do it, right? How many months expense do you want to enter for project? And we can have that ABC, that all things, those are easy work.
Okay, Shani, what maximum loops we can nest together? I mean,
Much as you want, you won't reach the limit, don't worry.
okay.
Max to max, 2 or 3 loops I've done. You've never gone beyond that, don't worry.
Okay.
Shani, I did 5.
Great.
Very good. Working with what? With Excel?
Yeah, VBA, Excel.
Really? I've never got an opportunity, thankfully. Looping, what you did multiple worksheets and ranges. That would still make 3. Then what else is the 4th, 5th dimension that you added?
It's depend on project.
All right, that's okay. Okay, now let's focus on our assessment. Okay, I'll have to change the time once again. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Eklavya, are you there?
Yeah, Shani, I'm here.
Sorry for making it So I have updated the time.
Okay.
So you can share the link and we can get started. So remember, it's the same thing like how we had it last time in quizzes. It's the same process. So you have to, you have already done the sign up. Now you just do a sign in. Click on the link that Eklavya is going to share with you. And then you can just it gets submitted itself. So it has multiple choice question and I think 4 fill in the blanks. That's it. Total of 12 minutes. In altogether, it's 12 minutes. That's it. Not more than that. So Eklavya,
And
we can share.
the timer will be starting or what?
As soon as you sign in, it starts. Okay. So as soon as you sign in, till you don't sign in, you don't start the quiz, there's no timer. The quiz has been given. I hope you guys are looking at it. Can we also send it to Vinay on the WhatsApp group? Or if Vivek, you can paste it on WhatsApp group.
Ishani, after login, we are getting multiple names.
Multiple names as in?